Football fans, it is officially the first week of the National Football League, and starting us off is the defending Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, going up against the Baltimore Ravens. The Chiefs are going into this with a 57.5% win probability, while the Ravens are steady at a 42.5%. The over-under at this one is a 3-point margin. And of course, I am not going to, of course, give you all the statistics for the over and unders, and by no means am I saying take these and bet on these in any form or fashion, but you do see the over unders. Those 3 points. The Chiefs this offseason went and added Hollywood Brown, who has been ruled out for week 1 with a shoulder injury, but on the opposite side of that, they did get Xavier Worthy, who could be a very high used receiver. He's got the speed. I think they're going to try to use him like they did Tyreek in aspects. We're going to see how that does work out for them in week 1. The Ravens this offseason added King Henry to the mix. They gave Lamar Jackson a reliable running back to take over the workload of running the ball. So I think it's going to be an evenly matched game. It will be a defensive-led game for the most part, with those high plays that do happen as they would in two juggernaut teams in the AFC. I have this one coming down to the wire, with the winner being the Baltimore Ravens by 3, 38-35 as your final score. Leading into Friday, it'll be our first game from Brazil. You got the Philadelphia Eagles going up against the Jordan Love Green Bay Packers. Now, the Packers did add to the running game. They got Josh Jacobs from the Raiders in the offseason, but the only issue with that is they were going to have a dual threat running back system this year. A.J. Dillon officially has went out for an injury. I do believe he was put on IR, and so Josh Jacobs is going to have a one-man show in the backfield. Isn't going to hurt him. He's kind of used to it, but this time he's actually got an offensive line that knows how to block for him. On the opposite side of that, you got the Philadelphia Eagles, who decided to get rid of the whole running back committee that they had for the past several years and go and pick up Saquon Barkley. Saquon, and I'm hoping that he does good. I'm hoping that Barkley has a turnaround year. I'm hoping he has a knockout, drag-out year. I'm hoping he's in the race for MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Rusher of the Year. I'm hoping he does great things and shows that it just wasn't him and his injuries holding him back, that it was actually the New York Giants doing that. As you see, the Eagles have a 50% win rate, while the Packers have a 43%, with the over-under being 2.5 points. That half a point we do know will cover if there is a tie in Brazil. With that being said, the Eagles will walk away with the first win of the season, first game in overseas play in Brazil, 31-24. First slate of Sunday night football games is the Falcons versus the Steelers. Now, the Steelers, they done some crazy stuff this offseason. They got Russell Wilson and Justin Fields as a dual quarterback setup. And I'm not sure exactly why this was a smart idea. We still got Pickens at number 1 at wide receiver. You still got Najee Harris. You still got Warren at the running back position. So you still got options back there. They could even throw Fields into like a wildcat formation and do something crazy at a wide receiver spot. They could even have him do some running back stuff. I don't know exactly what we're going to be looking at. We may see a total different scheme come to play in this one. Now, we know the Falcons, on the other side of this, went and got Kirk Cousins in the offseason, and they also got a rookie quarterback. They paid Cousins a ton of money, and they still drafted a first-round quarterback. A lot of people were giving them an issue with that. I don't think that's what it is. I don't think, honestly, Kirk Cousins is going to be there for very long. I think he might play his contract, or he might be a few seasons in of his contract and be like, hey, I'm done. That happens. I'm hoping Kirk Cousins has a stellar year in Atlanta. I'm hoping they show out. They honestly have a good chance, and it sounds crazy, to win the AFC South. So we will most definitely see how that division plays out. It's normally the weaker division with 1 or 2 games making the difference. With that, of course, as you see, the Falcons have a 58% chance of winning, while the Steelers have a 41.9. The over-under for this one is 3 points as well. With that being said, we picked the Falcons to win the season opener at home in Atlanta, 28-14. Next game is the Arizona Cardinals with a 30.6% win rate and a 6-point over-under against the Buffalo Bills, who have a 69.4% chance of winning this one. Now, of course, we do know that in the draft this year, the Cardinals in the 4th pick got Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr. was a outstanding wide receiver in college. He done great things. We also got James Conner in the backfield. We also got Murray, who's looking better this season, this offseason, than what I have seen in the past. We also got the Buffalo Bills, who went for broke and got rid of Stephon Diggs, got rid of Gabe Davis. And it's going to be very interesting how this offense looks. I do believe this is Josh Allen's year. He's got to show us this year, hey, it's not the people you put around me, but it's me. I can do this, and I'm going to show you that. He has to prove that to us this year. And with that being said, they do win week 1. It's going to be a close one. It's going to be 35-28 win over the Cardinals. The new Chicago Bears, and I say new because this team is completely new, going up against the Tennessee Titans, who have changed a lot. The Titans, we do no longer have Derrick Henry running the ball in Tennessee. We got Tony Pollard running the ball. We got Calvin Ridley at wide receiver. We got D-Hop at wide receiver. So there's a lot of good moving parts over there. And we'll see what happens. Also, don't forget their 3rd slot receiver is Tyler Boyd. So watch out for the Titans this year. They could be very sneaky. Going into this one, they are underdogs. They have a 35.6% chance of winning with a 64.4 on the Chicago side. Now, Chicago, we know, got Caleb Williams this year in the 1st round. They also picked up DeAndre Swift. They got Keenan Allen. They got DJ Moore. And then they picked up Romeo Oduzini. This team on offensive side is absolutely stacked. All around, I think this team is probably going to be a very underrated team going in. A lot of teams are probably going to underlook them going into the start of the season. But that will change as it goes through. With all that being said, I'm actually picking an upset here. Caleb Williams, he might get a little nervous, I think, towards the start of this game, and that's going to be what hurts them. I'm giving the Titans a very wild upset win, 28-24. The Patriots are playing the Bengals. Bengals, of course, don't know if Jamar Chase is going to be able to play. They got Slim Burrow at quarterback. It's very odd what's going on in Cincinnati right now. They got a 78.8% chance of winning, while the Patriots got a 21.2, with the over and under being 9. So, what did the Patriots do this offseason? Well, they didn't do a lot. They got rid of Mac Jones. We got Jacoby Brissett starting us off, while Drake May is going to be on the bench. I would say more than likely he might come out week 5. I just don't know what is truly happening right now in New England. I know this is going to be the first year that we really don't see Belichick doing a lot, and it's going to be odd, but hopefully they can figure it out sooner than rather than later. And I'm going to say this is a blowout game. This will be the one blowout, massive one. Bengals win 42-14. The battle of the AFC South. Big one right here. It was a good one last year. It's going to be a great one this year. The Houston Texans, 56% win rate over a 44 win percentage for the Colts in this one with a 2.5 spread there. So what does that mean? What are we looking at? Well, The Houston Texans last year were young. They showed us what they could do. Indy's hoping that Jonathan Taylor, that Richardson, everybody can stay healthy this year. I really think that the Houston Texans have the better chance in winning this one. I think that they've added the key pieces that they need to continue to be successful moving forwards. We know Richardson's injury last year really hurt them. And if it wasn't for that, I think they could have been really contenders against the Texans. But with Joe Mixon, Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, the Texans are really going to be dominant early out until we find a way for anybody to stop that. I'm taking the Texans to win this one 42-38 over the Colts. We got the Battle of Florida coming from Miami. You got the Dolphins. Got a 60% win probability against the Jaguars, who are sitting at a 40 at the moment. The Dolphins and the Jaguars over or under for this one is a 3. But here's the thing. The Dolphins have the speed aspect. We got A-Chain. We got Tua. We got Tyreek. We got Waddle. They're very fast, very young. Tyreek Hill, he might be the older one out of the group, but he's still got that speed aspect going on. So, of course, that's always something that you got to keep in mind when playing the Miami Dolphins. Now, of course, on the Jaguars side, it's very different. The Jaguars, they didn't really do a lot, in my opinion. Yeah, they got Trevor Lawrence. He got paid this offseason. Travis Etienne, he's going to do great. Christian Kirk, if he can stay healthy, this is where Gabe Davis went. He might actually do good down there. Brian Thomas Jr., think he's going to do great at the slot if that's where they use him. And then Evan Ingram, who is always spot on, will do good as well. But unfortunately for week 1, I don't think they're going to have it figured out. Give me the Dolphins winning 42-35. The Panthers go up against the Saints. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I don't think this offseason was very good for either one of these teams. There was not a lot done, except for the Panthers got Johnson at wide receiver from the Steelers. I think they went and put all their chips on Bryce Young and thinks that that will be what they need to do in Carolina. I understand that. I respect that. On the opposite side of this, the Saints, they have a young team as well with Derek Carr and Alvin Kamara. They got a lot of stuff. I think this is more of a rebuild for these two. That's why the Panthers are going to squeeze away with a surprising one and get that win only by 4 going into the first week. The Giants are going to be playing the Minnesota Vikings. Now, the Vikings have a higher win probability for this one, 52.5 to 47.5, with a spread of 1.5. Now, with that being said, I don't think that the Justin Jefferson show is going to be able to withstand all this season. Yes, Sam Darnold at quarterback is going to be very different. It's not what they were looking at going into this season. Of course, because of that injury. It is what it is. Hopefully, a speedy recovery for the Vikings quarterback. But with the Giants, they didn't really do a lot of either. They got Malik Neighbors, a good wide receiver for Daniel Jones. They got Devin Singletary. So hopefully that can jumpstart. I just don't think Singletary can replace the aspect that they had of Saquon Barkley there in the backfield. So it's going to be very odd to see where they go and how they make all this work. But it's going to be very interesting. With that, of course, being said, I do have the Giants winning this one 21-10 in week 1. So we do have the Chargers going up against the Las Vegas Raiders at a 40.5 win probability and a 59.5 win probability with a split of 3 points on this one. Now, Chargers are in a rebuild. Yes, they have Justin Herbert. They got Gus. They got several rookie wide receivers. They got Jim Harbaugh as the coach. The Raiders, on the other hand, are just in complete shambles. We got Gardner Minshew. They got Devontae Adams. I think this is a rebuild season for the Raiders. I think going out of this one, they're really going to be rebuilding. It's going to take a little bit of time, but we know it can happen. I'm taking them to win 35-28 over the Raiders. Give me them Chargers. The Seahawks. We got a new head coach. We got good things. A lot of people are talking good things about what we can do this year. We got a win probability of 59.5, while the Broncos are sitting at a 40.5 with a 6-point spread split there. I do believe it is a probability that we can win this one, honestly, going out. We got Geno Smith, DK Metcalf. We got Lockett. We still got Smith. We got Kenneth Walker. The only thing, though, is the Broncos, they got Bo Nix. And Bo Nix is not just a regular rookie quarterback. He showed a lot of promise in college and even in this preseason. So we will most definitely see how it runs going down this one. I do believe we can get away with this one by 9 points and take the win in Seattle. Browns and Cowboys. The Cowboys are underdogs in this one with a 44.3 win probability going up against the 55.7. Browns, they honestly didn't do a lot either this offseason. I do believe Deshaun Watson is starting at quarterback there. We know that Ezekiel Elliott is back in Dallas. We know that everyone re-signed with Dallas. CeeDee Lamb got a big one. This game right here, unfortunately, the Browns do win that one. Get the first win. Cowboys will get their first loss, but they will find a way to bounce back. The Bucs and the Commanders. The Commanders are very young, got a great rookie quarterback who's got the starting position going into week 1. Unfortunately, I don't think the Bucs are going to be able to stop it. The Bucs will lose the first one at home to the Commanders. The Lions versus the Rams. This is always a good one. It's always a good matchup between these two. There's a 3.5 spread on this one. It's basically, those probabilities do look a little off. But either way, I'm giving this one to the Lions by 10 at home. And then the last game, Monday Night Football, the San Francisco 49ers going up against the Jets. Now we got CMC in the backfield. We got Purdy. We got Debo. You got Ayuk. You got Kittle. We're going up against the Jets. We got Aaron Rodgers. And he is ready to play some football. I cannot wait to see how it looks Monday night. Game 1 for Aaron Rodgers back on the field. Hoping he has a great season there. Hoping things go well all around. That being said, the 49ers will win week 1. Ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, that is all week 1 picks and predictions. If you got any thoughts, comments, or if you think anyone else is going to win that I did not say would win, of course, let me know. And we will see you week 2.